Hello. Let me do a give me my quick thoughts on Axiom's End, a 2020 science fiction novel set in 2007 by Lindsay Ellis. This is sort of one of these kind of like X-Files conspiracy kind of thriller in a sense of kind of an alternate Earth where the government is trying to cover up. Let's not beat around the bush, is trying to cover up like the existence of aliens, actually on Earth. There's been a couple of meteor rocks hitting the Earth strike, which have happened, and two of them that are happened in the exact same place, which you kind of realize pretty quickly is like, well, that's basically completely impossible to happen randomly. Random rocks hitting the same part of the planet Earth. That the things of that. Now, our protagonist in this, Cora Sabina, is the estranged daughter of Niels Ortega, a government whistleblower. He's sort of WikiLeaks, Julian Assange, that kind of a figure, hunted by the American government. He has abandoned his family, his wife and his children, Cora being just one of those children, leaving them completely in the lurch. So he's one of these people who's got all these kind of idealistic things, but is, as a human being, seems to be, has fucked over those closest to him in pursuit of what seems to be his either greater, idealistic goal, or in furtherance of his own great fame and glory. So, to start off with, I guess, because Lindsay Ellis occupies this state of minor celebrity. I mean, on YouTube, I guess she would be she is a well-known person. She is a video essayist, has a very large subscription thing, and we do have had cases of booktubers, more likely the more just giant celebrities who they put out a book, and you can tell it's a vanity book. It's something that they've probably employed somebody else to ghostwrite for them, and they've kind of put their name on it, or they've kind of done it themselves and they've brought the scraps in and done it. I know there's a quote here from Hank Green on the front, and I think people have kind of been about exactly like if Hank Green was just Hank Green author, how much people would actually paying attention to a book, a book that he had written would be kind of iffy. Now, I'm more talking about the phenomenon than I'm actually talking about Hank Green himself, but that kind of idea. So this is one of these books of like I'd heard, because I'm a big fan of her essays. I really like her video essays, very kind of pulp culture kind of video essays. There's like, I was interested in the book, but I was also kind of wary. It's like, well, is this a book, or is this is this a vanity product? And having gotten it from my library, not putting my money where my mouth is, I actually find, this is a fun kind of bestseller, thriller, alternative history kind of science fiction thing, which has got a lot of good stomach churning moments in it. It's stuff that gave me that emotional reaction, which is what I want in a book, while also having some ideas. You can tell just by the title, Axiom's End, axiom being like, it's an assumption, or something that's assumed to be true. It's like, well, assumptions get exploded in this thing. Maybe one of those assumptions that we all kind of subconsciously functionally operate around is that we are functionally alone. At least in our lifetime, we're not going to have to deal with the presence of aliens on the planet. Now, that said, it does kind of pull out a lot of kind of the first contact stuff. As I said, it reminded me of something like the television show The X-Files, where it's like the truth is out there and the government are conspiring to hold the truth away from us, and that sort of stuff. And just sort of the general distrust of government. I think there's no surprise that this was set in 2007 during George Bush's era, where there was a lot of lying going on to the American public and to just the world in general about what the United States did know and what they were actually telling people and how they were spinning stuff. All that sort of stuff. So it's set at a particular time where, we can now look back in history and know that stuff, but also just sort of that was really coming to the fore there versus just complete dumpster show that it has been for the last couple of years. So there's not surprise we're using that time. It's also got stuff like, well, basically using the metaphor of it's like we are like the native peoples of North America getting visited by the Europeans, and how much that fucked the native people. But this would be like 1,000 times more, because we're dealing with something that was able to cross the vast distances of space and get to us. Their level of technology, if they want to do anything. If they want anything of ours, they'll crush it. And Ellis does actually pull out some interesting stuff on that too. Just the idea of, when the Europeans came to native culture, if they saw the stuff that they didn't understand, well, they crushed that stuff and they tried to reshape things, and they persecuted the stuff that they didn't like. I think living in Victoria, British Columbia, I think of stuff like the potlatch, which is an incredibly important part of kind of the economics and cultural fabric of a native life in kind of the coastal native peoples of this place, and that was outlawed. That was crushed because that was seen as against what was obviously the right way of doing things, which is fucking over each other in a good capitalist kind of way. And you wouldn't ever give away everything. That would just that's wrong. And there's that sort of thing of the kind of warnings of like, even if they came with the best intentions, it would be hard for them to do that stuff. Now, but the stuff that actually really hooked me in this story, and it's like, oh, this is a real story, is the relationship between Cora and we'll just go with the alien at this point, because they have a really odd, messed up relationship. There is a major power imbalance. Cora does wonder at times whether she is sort of the pet of this creature that is also a lot older than her. Creature that is very much an alien creature. This is not Star Trek with some hunky Leonard Nimoy with pointy ears that we can all fall in love with. No, this is truly something that is a alien creature. Yet at the same time, they have such a intimate and almost it's verging on kind of it's weird because it's almost romantic, it's almost parental at the same time. It's good and messed up because you've got Cora with her issues with her father. There's no surprise why Ellis has got that relationship so messed up, and now you've got this alien creature that's somewhat paternalistic, but is also, it's like, oh, this is really messed up and kind of stomach churning in a way that really hooked me in to this narrative in a way that if it was just kind of interesting scientific SF ideas, it wouldn't have sunk its hooks into me the way that this does. I'm not the guy to come to for all the hard sci-fi ideas, but there's a messed up relationship in here that really kept me reading. It's like, that's me. So yeah, and I mean, by the end of this book, I'm almost like, oh God. It made me think. This is not a dissing the book. It made me think of a relationship like in Twilight between Bella, the mopey teenage girl, and Edward, the much older vampire, and their messed up relationship. And now in Twilight, where that was supposed to be taken as romance, there was even a love triangle there. I hopefully crossing my fingers, I'm pretty sure Ellis really does see and is exploiting just the kind of the horrible squick and terror and weirdness of this relationship, and also how that is a good reflection for if alien life came here, how horrible and messed up the relationship could be between just the wider scope of between humanity and some kind of greater alien species that was completely alien to us, and how that could go terribly wrong. And I'm hoping this is book 1 in the series. It ends pretty satisfactorily, but with more trouble coming. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Well, this is Nuema number one, which Nuema, of course, is yet another philosophical term, which is an object or event that exists independent of human sense and or perception. So we're still gonna get the heady ideas, but I've got faith that she's gonna kind of hook that in with human emotion. I'm not a hard science fiction guy. So this had enough of a mixture of hard science fiction, but with that interpersonal stuff that makes it real to me. So if that's the kind of thing that you might be interested in your science fiction, this might be somewhere to try. Maybe if you're super hardcore hard sci-fi, this maybe you'll find this stuff too rote and easy for you. I don't know. But those are my thoughts on Axioms and by Lindsay Ellis. A real book. I won't cry for her too hard because this entered like the New York Times bestseller list. So she's leveraged her celebrity, but there actually does seem to be something actually behind that, which is awesome because I also love her as a video essayist as well. All right, more videos later.